Welcome to the ThunderCast, your Marshall Athletics podcast produced by the fans, for the fans, with your hosts, Russ Livingood and KD Hugnall. We're bringing you the thundering word on the thundering herd each and every week. So keep it right here. The ThunderCast is on the loose.
Do it widescreen, too.
Welcome to the final episode of ThunderCast Live, powered by Ignite Link. We are, well, half of us are live at the C Lot in Joan C. Edwards Stadium for Senior Day, the home finale for the Marshall Thundering Herd, and a whole lot on the line. I can see by the winter hats, the hoodies, and the jeans that it's a tidbit nipply outside, and great Huntington football weather. Let me have it. What's it like down in Huntington, West Virginia this November Saturday?
Well, it's 1 degree, and no, it's actually it's warming up a little bit. Earlier, I was cleaning the tables off, and the Lysol wipes were freezing as I was trying to wipe them off. It's warmed up. The sun's out. I am actually in this enclosed tent, not for warmth, but we had too much glare, and it was just wiping everything out. So I'm inside the tent now. The wind is blowing. I can see this coming up. So that is going to make it a little chillier, but game time temps are supposed to be around 40 degrees. So not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay. Cannot relate. It is a balmy 70 some degrees. It is still shorts and flip flops weather down at my house, where it will be mighty comfortable in the living room when we watch the game this afternoon. But let's talk about that win for a second, because this is a pass-happy team. This is something that we hadn't thought about talking about before. We hadn't thought about the elements when we were doing the preview a couple of days ago. Is the win stiff enough to make any type of difference, or is it just annoying?
No, it was annoying, and it was very brief there, just a second, because all morning it hadn't really been windy. It just came through as we started the show and everything, and the sidewall here was caving in on the back of me. But I would say, if anything, you're going to look at maybe a grip on the football, throwing with the temperature and everything. Nothing that these guys haven't gone through. However, our guys have been practicing up here in the cold. They've been down in Georgia, southern Georgia at that, practicing. So don't know if the weather will shock them any or not, but probably not. These are college football players. They come to play.
No, you're right. And I don't think that if there's not a sustained, fairly stiff wind, it's going to be any type of factor whatsoever. Now, ball security is always going to be an issue with two teams that like to run the football. So maybe something to pay attention to. Of course, Marshall had a little bit of an issue against App State, holding on to the football late in the game. So will that carry over? Is this the game where we return to seeing more of that vaunted rushing attack that has really made all the success and difference for Marshall outside of one particular game all season long? That remains to be seen. But there's a lot on the line in this one, Russ, and we can't go any further without talking about the biggest, most glaring thing that is on the line for both teams, and that's bowl eligibility. Both Marshall and Georgia Southern are 5-6 football teams. They need this win in the final game of the regular season to have a shot. It's still not guaranteed, but to have a shot at bowl eligibility. You talked to the guys from Gata Talk earlier this week. They thought that Marshall had a really good chance at winning this game, which is kind of surprising. You like to think that those guys would lean a little bit more to Georgia Southern and what they might be able to do to try to find a way to give them an edge. They just didn't feel that way.
I'm sorry. The speaker at the Joan, right when you asked me the question, they went. So tell me again about Gata Talk.
That's all I said was that at some point during that show, you would think they would try to find a way to make the matchup benefit Georgia Southern. They just don't feel that way. They think Marshall's going to almost run away with this one.
Well, stats tell the reason why. They kept talking. They referenced stats on the episode Getting to Know with Gata Talk, and 136 out of 136 and multiple different things, but especially rush defense, total defense, Scoring, they were very low. I mean, just scoring defense. Everything that they had, they were so low in the rankings that they were from the 130 to 136 range in just about everything defensively. And they were not happy with how the offense has gone. They were not happy with how the defense definitely has gone. They've not been happy with the coaching. It's just one of these issues that they were really, really struggling with. How could we say we're comfortable thinking that our team is going to come away with a victory?
Which is really, really unfortunate because they found a way somehow to win 5 football games and put themselves in a position to gain bowl eligibility right here with Marshall. And Marshall's given games away. We heard Coach Tony Gibson talk about that in his media availability this week, that Marshall's lost how many games by a total of 6 points? You're talking about a couple of 1-point loss, a 2-point loss. They've given so many close games away that this team is a handful of plays, 15 plays now maybe away from being an 8-win ball club, a 9-win ball club. It's kind of gut-wrenching when you think about how close they were, yet how far away they actually are, and they need a big performance today to secure a bowl bid.
KD, forget everything I said about that wind. It is now whipping through the parking lot. It's,
right on cue.
Again, I'm shielded back here, but the people around me are not. The entire tent was shaking there for a second. I do have, though, I want to talk about, this is our last tailgate of the year in Landscaping by Hillcrest, which we've got his banners up all around here. Tom Scarberry, he'll be here any minute to tailgate with us, but all 6 games this year, he did the sponsorship, and the company did the sponsorship. So we have got to highlight them. Go to landscapingbyhillcrest.com. You'll be blown away by the photos of just the care that they put into every single job. We're not talking about putting down mulch, planting some shrubs or anything. We are 100% talking about the most exquisite landscaping you'll see around here. Hardscapes, pools, fences, patios, water features, you name it, they can do it, and they do it better than anybody else around. So just wanted to highlight them. And also, if I can get Jake over here, if you can add Jake to the studio. Jake is our camera 2 today, and he's going to show us some of this food here. There you go, Jake. This is by Flavor of Veracruz, and they catered this today. Jake just said this is the prettiest
that looks good.
Catering food that I've ever seen. Just the way that it looks in there. I did get to sneak a bite right as the intro was playing, and it's good, man.
That looks really, really good. Whoa, look at this. Looks really, really good. This is very visually appealing. So I guess now's a good time if anybody happens to be listening to this on their way to Joan C. Edwards Stadium, swinging by the C lot in the back corner right near the video board. Looks like you've got some really, really good food waiting on you. Holy moly. That looks awesome.
Listen, they were telling about the process with the, making the stuff for the night before for the pork to marinate in and then to cook in and everything. And I was about to go into a coma right then without even being able to taste it. And now that I snuck a bite, I can't wait until I can go over and make a plate. But just look there what Jake's doing with that camera work and showing that. And I mean, even though the sun, hey, Jake, got blocking the sun makes it a little shady. Can you move over just slightly?
Shit, it still looks good.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
On it. Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at those collars pop. Look at that. That looks amazingly good. So hit me again. Give me the contact info for who did this, because this looks so good. I know there are people watching or that are going to see this that are going to want to call.
Business card for them.
Man.
I'm just gonna put the business card up to the screen. I'm gonna read it off and then put it up there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Can you read that? I'm too far away from the monitor. Well, it's hard to. There we go. Come on now.
I'll get it right. One of these. He had it right the first time. Now it's sideways. That's all right.
Yeah, it's sideways.
Flavor of Veracruz.
The other sideways.
There you go. Flavor of Veracruz by Diana Ventura. She's the owner. Give them a call at 304-690-3872. They are
That's
serving
right.
Kentucky and West Virginia and Ohio. Of course, you can find them on Facebook at Flavor of Veracruz. That looks absolutely amazing. Fresh, bold, and Veracruz proud. I think that's pretty accurate. That looks very fresh, very bold, and very visually appealing. I bet it smells amazing around the
It
tailgate.
does. It
Holy
does.
moly.
And again, Tom with Landscaping by Hillcrest, I say this all the time. He said, listen, I want to sponsor, but, we do things big,
Right.
when they're talking about what they do. He said, so I want your tailgates to be big. And I said, sir, do not worry about that.
Say no more, fam.
I tailgate big, and that's what we did here. It was one of the last games of the year. We just wanted to do something to take off where it's a 1:30 game, not have me over here, trying to get everything set up and try to cook on site like I do. So we reached out at Tom's recommendation to Flavor of Veracruz, and we're tailgating big today.
So I guess now's a great time to talk about next season. And if you are interested in being a featured catered business at our tailgates, you should reach out to us, because we should have 6 dates next year if we're lucky. I mean, I don't know if there's this possibility of a 7th. I haven't looked that closely at the schedule yet.
I don't think we can, because right now I think 2026 has the 4 out of conference already set. 2027 we're waiting for that, but I don't think that there's a chance that we can do it next year.
Well, I guess that there is, and that's if you host the SBC championship game, you've got a chance at a 7th game, but that just remains to be seen. But I think this particular week, it almost looks like we've saved the best for last, at least on camera. The way this has been presented, this food looks amazing. I think the game has just stepped up as far as tailgate food goes here. This looks really, really good. I hope this is something enough to draw some more people over, get them out in that cold weather, get their bellies full, and start cheering on the Herd in a very crucial game. Russ, let's get back to 2 cameras and talk about football.
Yeah. Jake, you're done now.
You mentioned earlier about the defensive rankings for Georgia Southern and how utterly abysmal they are. And that's not just hyperbole. That's not me smack talking. The guys from Gatatalk echoed that. They said this is historically the worst defense ever at Georgia Southern. And that's from guys that follow the program very closely. They're historians of the program, just like we are with Marshall. And the statistics back that up. With the 6 major categories that we featured for Georgia Southern, well, actually it's 7 major categories that we featured for Georgia Southern. Their highest ranking was 67th in the country, and that was in penalties per game. They're a fairly disciplined team. They're averaging less than 6 penalties a game. They're averaging less than 60 penalty yards a game. So that's a positive in their favor, but literally everything else is going awry. Who you got there?
It's Evelyn.
Well, I mean, she's all decked out. I wanted you to give her a proper intro.
I thought you couldn't see her because she's dolled up like Randy on a Christmas story.
Put your arms down when you get home.
But this is the middle daughter, Evelyn, middle child. Evelyn, say hi to everybody out there.
Hi.
Hey, sweetie. How are you today? Nice and chilly? Mr. Penny says, hey. But again, the major rankings for Georgia Southern just are not favoring them at all on defense. Outside of being ranked 67th in the country in penalty yards per game, their next best ranking is 96th out of 136 teams, and that's in pass defense. You mentioned it, dead last in rush defense, dead last in total defense, 130th in points allowed per game. Marshall should have the ability to run at will on this team. The question is, will they get out of their own way and do it? Russ, what's your thoughts on the Herd's offensive approach in this game?
Run is what you need to do. I mean, we are, I think, still 18th in rushing overall in the country, and they are 136. So, I mean, just the matchup tells you need to run. Now, will they be expecting it? Yes, of course. But they've expected people to rush on them every game this year because of that ranking, and it still happens. I mean, it's not a game plan issue. It's an execution issue. is what they're having. So we need to run. We need to establish the run. We're good at it. And if we can rush it down their throats, that will open up the pass as they continue to try to stop the run. Carlos Del Rio Wilson's good at that. I wouldn't be surprised to see a flea flicker in this, something where we're running obviously some RPO and some different things that we're always going to do. But, if we're rushing and they start, just crashing the line, it wouldn't surprise me to see us throw in a flea flicker here or there to try to stretch that field.
It does make sense that Marshall's receivers are going to have a lot of opportunities in one-on-one coverages, because if you're going to stack up the box to try to stop this top 20 rushing defense like you should, you're going to have to leave some guys in one-on-one situations. And at that point, you think you're going to be better than a 50-50 ball. If Carlos Del Rio Wilson is a little sharper than we saw him against App State, where he missed a wide-open Floyd Lacey in the end zone, where he missed not a wide open, but a pretty open Toby Payne down the seam, then it's going to be a really long day for Georgia Southern. I like the guys like Tamarez and Norton to be able to come down with those, let's call them 60-40 balls instead of 50-50. I like those guys' chances. Adrian Norton has just been a circus catch all year long. He doesn't have a ton of receptions, but the ones that he does have been pretty miraculous, including the touchdown receptions. So I like that.
I'm going to show a plate here real quick, KD.
Okay.
That got brought over, but oh man, as soon as we end this, I'm going to be all over this.
It's like you want to fight that plate of food.
Yeah.
So
let me chime in on the wide receivers and everything as I see the Barbies rolling up over here, but. The wide receivers, the last few weeks, it seems like we've spread the ball around very well. And I do see Tamarez and Norton getting more involved in the offense over the last couple of weeks. Even with last week, 12 receptions by Floyd Lacey, it still felt like Norton and Tamarez were all over, that. So look for a big day from them as well. But I really think the story is the stable of running backs, and you've got a little bit here on the injury front when we're talking about it.
Yeah, we have to talk about the updated availability report, because this is the one that matters. The one on Wednesday is a slight indicator of what we might be looking at, but of course it can all change not all change, but mostly change on Saturday. And we got to start with the Marshall availability report, which does not change much because all of our guys were listed as out. They are still obviously out. There's one addition to the Marshall availability report, and that is running back Justin Williams-Thomas. He is now a game-time decision. We bringing in more children here.
Yeah, this is the oldest. This is Caitlin, and I just wanted to not leave her out and get her on camera too. Caitlin, say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Caitlin.
There it is.
How's it hanging?
Yeah, but best color commentator ever. Justin Williams-Thomas being out does change things in my mind, because I thought that Michael Allen, Williams-Thomas, Antoine Roberts, Joshawn Barbie, you just hammer with those four. It does say game time decision, not out. Just to clarify what I had that wrong just a second ago, but I still think those three that we know that are good to go, I think that you need to give them each 10 carries, each of them 10 carries. And what you said is go with the hot hand. So if one of those three is just killing it like Barbie did last week, 10.2 yards a carry, you need to just continue to hammer that person until they're no longer the hot hand.
You've gotta do it until they stop it. This is basic football stuff. You need a win. This is a game. You look at it, you go, we need one win, go get me a win. What are we going to do? We're going to get out of our own freaking way today and just do what works. And why go away from it? Why derail the offense? If you're running the ball well and you just keep stacking up 5 yards a carry, show me a reason you have to pass the football. I'll wait. There is no reason. If you're getting 5 yards a carry, that means you never see a third down. That means it's right down the football field. There's no need to get creative and get smart. I don't care if you line up and run the ball 80 times. If it works, then do it. I don't care. But let's talk about this Georgia Southern availability report too, because that vastly affects what Marshall is going to do today. Some of the guys we talked about, the big guys, were not totally listed as out. Some of those we thought had a really good chance of being available, and those two biggest are on defense that were probable, and that's linebacker Brendan Harrington, their number one overall leading tackler on the year. He is now available. Justin Myers, a defensive back that was their number 3 leading tackler on the team. He is now also available. You get some depth pieces back. Another DB, Fabo Chaney, is available today. Depth running back Terrence Gibbs is available today. But the biggest one on offense for Georgia Southern is their do-everything running back, O.J. Arnold. He was not listed as out. He was listed as doubtful or probable, questionable. I can't remember. One of the two. But he brings to the table this season 133 carries, 885 yards, 6.7 yards per carry, and 7 touchdowns on the ground for this Georgia Southern running attack. But he's also their 4th leading receiver, grabbing 17 receptions for 201 yards and another touchdown. As the funny quip is, he's their number 2 leading passer on the team. 2 of 2 for 85 yards. Both passes have gone for touchdown. He's got the record for biggest quarterback rating I've ever seen in my life at a 787. But he is now a game time decision. He is not available. There is still a slight chance that he will not play. He is a senior, so I think you may see a situation where he dresses but does not play a lot or does not play at all. Maybe they try to get him a carry just to get into the game, but he's a game time decision, and that's a big, big, big piece that may be missing for Georgia Southern. Everybody else that was listed in the availability report is out. So they are missing a metric buttload of players today. It is going to be a thin roster for Georgia Southern, which, of course, plays in the favor of the herd. And, of course, always missing from the availability report was Carlos Del Rio Wilson. Tony Gibson put that to bed early in the week. He said he's a go. He'll be out there. So Herd fans do not have to worry about him starting this game. He will be quarterback 1.
Yeah. I threw up a couple of comments there just because of the theme. It's get bowl eligible. It's all that matters right now. So you just got to go all out. We talked about that. It's the key to victory is just do everything that is necessary to get this win. That's all that matters. As you titled the episode of the preview, it's a 1-game season.
It is. You have to show us as fans that you can win a game when you have to win a game. So we said 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, you've got to win 2 out of 3. Can you do it? It would be great to just go ahead and win the first 2 and cruise into senior day already being bowl eligible, looking to secure that 7th win. But that's not what happened. You let one slip away in Boone, North Carolina. You can't do it today. You're at home. There is not only bowl eligibility on the line, it's not only senior day, but you're looking to hold a winning record this season at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. If you win today, you're 4-2 at home. If you lose, you're 3-3. And I've said it over and over and over. 3-3 will never, ever be good enough for a home record at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Hell, 4-2 isn't good enough for a home record at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. But I'd rather take one over the other. Now, we do have some folks that are tuned in and watching, and I appreciate you guys watching, either because you're not going to make it to the game and you want to get a little ThunderCast flair for tailgating. I love folks that are leaving the comments. I want to read some of those because it's great for people that are tuning in and watching us. So I just want to give shout out to some of those folks that have been watching us all season long, and they're echoing some of the things that we say. Like, I love it. I love it. Ron G has been watching. I can't tell you how long, but he's saying the same things that we are. Hey, guys, I don't care what they say. If they can walk on 2 legs, Georgia Southern is a threat. Beware. They always play us tough. And they do. We talked about some of these games in the Southern Conference that were tough. We talked about last season, and we've talked about going down to Statesboro and laying one on them when they were the favorite several years back. Everybody has to play their best game this game. They do. We need everybody to bring their best effort. Do it for the seniors, do it for the coaches, do it for the fans, do it for the herd. Banana Man 311 says, I love CDRW, but they've got to let the running backs run today. What have we been saying all day, all week?
Yeah.
Echoing that same thing.
Remember a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember if it was a JMU game, we had 23 rushes by CDRW and had 20 by Antoine Roberts, and Roberts had gone off. For fairly certain that's the game, JMU. And then we had a couple of games where he was like 17 and the other people, maybe it was 16, you add the rest of them up and they had 16.
Yeah.
So like he had exactly half of the rushes, and you didn't have any single running back that was like anywhere close to him. You just added all of them up to get to where he was at.
Yeah.
I just think you cannot have that. You've got to have a much better balance. And when I say balance, I want every running back to have the same amount of carries he does. So if you're running three running backs in this game, he would only have a fourth of the carries, not half, not more than half, only a fourth. And if we run 4 running backs, he has a fifth of them. I just think that makes more sense.
Yeah, of course it does. And of course, the great equalizer to all of that for me is what I've been saying. If one guy starts to go off, well, then you're going to have to just continue to feed him. It's basic football today, man. It's run the football, stop the football, tackle the football, score the football. You do that, whoever does it the best, along with protecting the football, whoever does that the best is going to win the game and is going to go to a bowl at the end of the season. That's it. It's that freaking simple.
Sorry, I just had to get some of that pork. And
sheesh. I got to tell you, it not being able to be on the lots for most of these games with you guys takes away so much of my, personal herd experience. But being able to do this show and bring this show to everyone that also can't be on the lots does a whole lot for my my herd fandom. It's the reason that we began doing this show. Kyle, you can say, well, you can type ass, man. It's okay. But I love doing this show. I appreciate the comments. And the reason I went off on this little tangent is because of the comment I saw right there from Barry Lewis 6496. It says, you guys have done a great job all year. I look forward to tuning in each week. Thanks for all you do, and go herd. We appreciate that. We really, really do. At the end of the day, this is just a hell of a lot of fun for us, and that's why we do it. And I'm glad that other people enjoy listening to us yammer on about the herd, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you want to toggle those, I have to walk off camera, but toggle to which ones you need there.
Sure. But I like this point as well. You know that some of these runs by CDRW are called plays, designed runs by the quarterback. Others, as Russ has mentioned many, many times, are pass plays that have broken down, that he scrambled. You're always going to have those. But I think cutting the designed quarterback run plays in half is where you have to get those carries back to the running backs.
Yeah, because let me qualify that I think that he is an amazing runner and improviser, and I think that's a major part of his game, and I do not want to stifle that. I think that when a play breaks down, he is dangerous when he runs and everything. He's done it all year long. He is, as we have said, now 7 yards to the good on the all-time single-season rushing record for a quarterback here at Marshall. He does an amazing job. We just want to cut down the design runs, like KD just said, because that will bring his total down. That will save some of the wear and tear on him, but also make him more effective, that he runs when he has to, and then you mix in a couple of runs here and there, but not have, say, 15 designed runs, and then he does 4 when a play breaks down and he has 19 carries. Maybe cut that in half and give those to running backs, and I think that would be a much better balance.
Yeah, and when you look at the statistics all season long, it's because we've had running back by committee that CDRW is most likely the team's leading rusher. But he leads the team in rushing by about 160 yards. So Antoine Roberts is currently second on the team with just under 500 yards per carry or on the season. And then Michael Allen is just under 400 yards. Joshawn Barbie is right around 250 yards. But it's when you look at that average is where it really starts to point out to you just how much abuse that CDRW has taken. Yes, he leads the team in carries. He's got nearly twice as many as the number 2. Carlos Del Rio Wilson on the season has 158 carries, rush attempts. Antoine Roberts is second on the team with 89. Now, when you look at averages, CDRW has the lowest average per carry of the top 6 rushers. And that says a lot to me. So he's got a lot of yards, but he's taken a lot of carries to get them. And he's the only one. He's also got the lowest long run on the season by any runner. So he's getting it by sheer number of carries. And that, to me, is the overall problem.
Hey, share the comment from Jake Pitois there about we run a spread offense. Agree, we do run a spread offense, but we do have RPO pass plays in there, RPO run plays in there. It's not that we do that 100% of the time. So what I'm saying is when we have that today, that you are going to see Carlos Del Rio Wilson have the opportunity to hold on to the ball or give the ball to the running back, and you will see some RPO aspects in this Rod Smith offense. They've done it just about everywhere. Even before it was called an RPO offense, they were running this at various different places. But it is not going to be a 100% RPO every single play. We run as much of a hybrid offense as you're going to find in the country. There's no single thing that can define this offense. And I think that we knew coming in it was going to be run heavy. It has been run heavy. But even at that, Del Rio Wilson, at times he had 321, the most passing yards that we've had since 2002 up at Bowling Green. Henry Columby.
2022.
I said 2002. I'm sorry. 2022. Yes, at Bowling Green after the Notre Dame game. Yeah. He threw for 338. So we do have in this spread offense is the best way to call it what it is. And, they spread it out, try to run right through, the spread out defense that way. So it is a spread, but you are going to see RPO plays in here, and we've done them this season. And that's where I was going with that. So just to clarify, Jake.
Yeah, but we also see plays that are not of the RPO variety. CDRW takes the snap, he takes one step back, and he takes off running. That's not an RPO. That's a designed quarterback run, and we see that too often in games when you have fresh legs from running backs that are ready to just hand out abuse one after another. So it's not that we don't want to see them in the offense. We don't want to see them as often and as big of numbers. So good point. It's a good point. It's a valid point. We're just saying, where can we steal away a carry here and a carry there and get it back to a fresh set of legs and a running back that may have a hot hand? Did you see here, Russ? Look, can we get the Sunbelt refs to give us a break today? You might need to slip them 100 on the down low if you got it. I'm just, it's not a bad idea because teams, I've said this and it's become a running joke, teams are playing their cleanest games against the herd this year. Some heavily penaltied teams have played their best games miraculously against Marshall this year. And I just don't think it's a thing. And I don't think any bigger call has happened than last week on the fumble that was called a fumble on the field during the play against Zion Turner, that if it's not called a fumble on the field, that call is probably upheld and Marshall retains possession. So if you got an extra 100 or a couple hundreds in your pocket there, maybe you want to hand those out to the guys with the black and white shirts on. It might help.
So listen, I'm not into that conspiracy theory. It is bad, but we have been talking about how bad the Sunbelt refs have been since we entered the Sunbelt, and it's not just in football. That was one of the things when we were joining the league. The people that have been in here for years before, decades before, warned us, and we're like, buddies, Conference USA was horrible. And then we come in here and we're like, hey, you know what? Those guys knew exactly what they were talking about. We loved everything about the Sun Belt, and we felt like the refs were horrible across just about every sport. But you're going to have that. But no, I will not be giving them an extra hundo. I will be holding on to said hundo because I don't think it's going to matter. I can't make the blind see with $100.
Well, that's true. That's true. And let's transition here from referees to another good point about this offense, which is something I've been screaming every single week. And the one week we finally did it, it worked beautifully. And it went along with that 321-yard passing day with Carlos Del Rio Wilson, and it was the career day by Toby Payne. So let me put the comment from our buddy Matt Heck up on the screen. This offense is harder to defend when you use the tight end in the middle of the field. Feed the running backs all day. Hello, I could not agree more. Finding 81 early and often sets the whole damn thing up. You start to redline this offense, and it gets really, really hard to defend.
100% agree, Mr. Matt Heck. I will clarify and add, though, that any offense is harder to defend when you have a dynamic tight end like Toby Payne in it, where he is so much of a hybrid. It reminds you of that Cody Slate. He's got the speed and the agility and everything to outrun the linebackers, but he's way more physical than the defensive backs. Yeah, we've been calling for more throws to the tight end all season long, and I hope that he gets a heavy dose of that here today.
Absolutely, and this is a great transition because it's senior day, and we haven't talked about the guys that are actually going to walk on senior day. So, I can't remember the exact number that I punched out there earlier. Let me see if I have it written down in our senior day for 23 seniors and redshirt seniors that were on the roster listed as a senior or a redshirt senior, but only 17 of those guys, or only 17 players, are actually going to walk in senior day today out of the 23 that were listed as a senior or redshirt senior. So that's a little wild in and of its own right, but a name that is walking that was not on the roster as a senior or redshirt senior is Carlos Del Rio Wilson. So let me run down these guys that are actually walking, and then I want to talk to my main man, KP, Chris Parker, my neighbor, my fellow Floridian. Let me run down these guys so we can give appreciation to the seniors that are walking. DB Cam Smith, DB Boogie Trotter, DB Marvay Myers, safety Jadarius Green McKnight, wideout Floyd Lacey, DT Katron Evans, quarterback Carlos Del Rio Wilson, linebacker Jalen Parker, wide receiver Ben Turner, wide receiver Jacoby Baldwin, offensive lineman Sean Marcus Adams, O-lineman Eric Meeks, safety/linebacker Kerryon Martin, defensive lineman Tyus Martin, wideout Zane Porter, offensive lineman Bryce Biggs, and offensive lineman Tyler McDuffie are all walking today in the senior service. Surprising the most, of course, Carlos Del Rio Wilson. He's a redshirt junior on the roster. Is his availability actually exhausted? Will he need a waiver? We don't know. What do you think about that list? And tell me about the guest.
Well, so we have seen people walk, and in previous coaching staffs, they said, encourage you to walk because you don't know.
Right.
You can make that decision later. So we don't want to read into every single one of those. But with eligibility, the way that it has gone here recently, Diego Pavia, I think, is on his 6th year or something like that. The JUCO things that have been thrown around. I will never say never to somebody not having a way to find another year of eligibility, just the way that it's been going. I don't agree with it. I'm just saying that's what has shown to be true. So there are several on this list that I would think have exhausted their eligibility.
Yeah.
But nothing would shock me anymore if I saw, hey, so-and-so was granted another year. Now, usually they're granted another year at a bigger institution than Marshall University. But, again, it would not shock me if some of these people that are walking might be back here next year.
Me either. And I want to talk to Chris. I want to get his thoughts on this too. But one name that is not there that could possibly, you might think you would see, we don't know if he had graduated yet, but Toby Payne is not on that list, and he's the all-conference caliber tight end that isn't walking, and it makes you feel really good if you're a Herd fan that you might see that guy back to finish his career like his brother in Huntington.
Well, so I really think that he has one full year of eligibility left because
I'm sure he does.
In 2021, he did get in a couple of games. He famously got that in the very first game here, NC North Carolina. I can't remember which school it was, but he caught a touchdown. As a true freshman, it was barely 18 years old. But then the entire next year, he had that injury and did not have anywhere near. He got that medical red shirt. So that was 2022. You got 2023, 2024, 2025. So he had his red shirt season in 21, medical red shirt in 22. I think that he's got the 3 years left. And that's if I've got those years right. It might have been 2022 was the first year that he was a true freshman. I'd have to go back and look. I don't have it in front of me. But I do know he got that medical red shirt because he was out that whole year. I think he's got 1 year left.
Well, he's listed as a redshirt junior, which is the thing. It doesn't matter about the calendar years and where they went, but I'm saying like he's probably already graduated. So if you've already graduated with enough credits, you're free to transfer. Chris, come in here and talk to me about what you're seeing today. What do you think is going to happen with the Herd, and do they get it done?
Well, I think they will. I do. I think that they've got to play for a lot today. This is a big statement to come in the first year with all these new guys and win the game. Last week was unfortunate. I think that they should have walked away with the win last week. I think they feel kind of embarrassed about it. I think today in front of a home crowd on senior day, you get it done. You ground and pound. You wear this Georgia Southern team down. And remember, we owe Georgia Southern a little something from last year.
Yeah.
They just about ruined our season last year. We were up, I think, 21-3 or something like that last year, and gave that game up similar to the game we gave up last week. They were very similar games, I thought.
It was actually 23-3, and they got that safety, another bad call.
Yeah, the
by
pass
the refs.
Interference call. Was it a pass interference call?
Well, so they called an intentional grounding, and he was in the end zone, and they called that a safety. But he was actually throwing to a guy. The wide receiver ran the wrong route.
That's exactly right.
So it was like it was supposed to be a double move. He didn't make the double move. So they said, hey, that's a intentional grounding, which in the spirit of the rule was not what he was doing.
That's right.
But they called that a safety, made it 23-5, and then they scored 3 touchdowns in 5.5, 6 minutes, and came back and won that game.
And we had a couple of late fumbles, very similar to last week.
Yeah. So talk to me about. I've heard you talk about feeding the running backs, run the football, all these type of things. So, are there particular keys to victory, Chris, that you think the Herd must accomplish today to not just make, we're not talking about making a statement. We're talking about just getting a win and making sure they have an opportunity to extend their season. What do you think the Marshals got to do today?
I think productive first downs are key. If you can stay in front of the chains, I think if you can get 3 to 5 yards on first down, it's going to set up a much easier play call on second down. You might be able to air it out a little bit. The problem is you can't lose yardage. You can't get behind the chains. You have to play risk-free football for the most part until you pick your times and your places to kind of attack the defense. But I think we got to exert our dominance on the offensive line, and we got to be able to move the ball downfield with the run. And we can't depend on Carlos Del Rio Wilson to run the ball. We've got to spread the field out a little bit, and we've got to get some carries even for, I think, Lacey. I think Lacey's got to get some carries from his slot position because I think that's where he excels is running the ball and short passes. And as we all know, he hasn't been catching the ball particularly well lately, but they need to get him the ball in open field. He's the best athlete on the team, if you ask me.
Yeah, he's very, very dynamic player. And the point you made about running the football, winning the line of scrimmage, I didn't look at this. I remember it being a thing when we were doing the preview, but I want to go back and check the availability report. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Georgia Southern is without 7 defensive linemen today. They are all out, unavailable, and will not be there as a depth piece. But Russ mentioned that their leading sacks, their sack guy, was it MJ Stroud? Is that his name?
MJ Stroud.
MJ Stroud.
235-pound former outside linebacker, has started the last 3 weeks. He transitioned, I think, all year. I was a little iffy on that if it was a mid-year or all-year thing, but he transitioned to being an edge rusher in their 4-2-5. So coming off the end, that's somebody you really need to watch out for. Obviously undersized when you think about a defensive lineman, 6'2", 235.
Yeah.
But he's made it work, man. He's fast, he's athletic. He brings that linebacker agility in there to the edge, and he's had a couple of really big games. He showed out against App State.
Yeah. So let's talk about some keys to victory, Russ. Let's revisit a few of ours. We'll do some scores, and we'll let you guys get back to enjoying this tailgate, the last one of the year. Russ, what was that number one key to victory for the Herd for you this week?
I talked about it earlier. It was run the football, and I think that you just need to do what you said, go with that hot hand. But 100%, you want to run more than you pass today. Let the run open up that pass.
Yeah, absolutely. My number one overall key to victory is such an obvious thing, but it has cost Marshall at least 2 wins this year, and it's no turnovers today. I don't care when they come or what part of the field they're on. Marshall's just not good enough all the way around to overcome 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers. We've seen it. They let the Coastal game get away. This cost them the App State game. In my opinion, it looked like we could have gone down the field and kicked the field goal, at least a shot, to win that game. No turnovers today is the biggest key to victory for me. Russ, what's another big one for you that the Herd absolutely has to do?
Stop that French to Brown connection. Someone here had a comment on it about, putting pressure on French, coming over the top on Brown. Let me run over these percentages again. This is when French throws to Brown, which is what we'll see the most today. 26.1% of the entire year's receptions have gone to Camden Brown. 36.6% of the yards through the air have gone to Camden Brown, and 70.6% of the touchdowns through the air this year have gone to Camden Brown. So J.C. French throwing to Camden Brown, he's going to get targeted a lot. Remember, I'll remind you of this, but he is 57 yards away from their single-season school record for yards by wide receiver. 108 away from 1,000. So I feel like he's going to want to get a big game. He already has their touchdown record with 12. Blew out. They had 8 was the most that they had before that. So look for him to be targeted, I think, as many as 15 times today. Could be a lot more.
Yeah, it probably will be a lot more, especially if O.J. Arnold is out and does not play in this game. He will be legitimately, along with wide receiver Marcus Sanders, the only 2 viable offensive weapons for Georgia Southern. And they want to get him that 1,000-yard threshold. They want to try to get him those records if they can. My number 2 key to victory also was you've got to take away the Camden Brown, French, Sanders connection. You need your best day of pass defense all season long. I think you need to double Camden Brown, force Marcus Sanders to be the guy to beat you, put Boogie and a safety on Brown. I don't care. Just get it done and shut these guys down. I don't even care if you give up not a lot of yardage, but if he has a 100-yard day but he can't find the end zone, great, because that means they're really struggling to put points on the board. Russ, let's talk about let's get score predictions from you and Chris, and then we'll look to kind of close it out here and get you guys back to having some fun. Chris, what's it look like for you today? How you liking the Herd, or are you?
I do. 35-24. The Herd wins going away. With a heavy rush day, they finally show up and play some pass defense. We can contain Brown. Maybe we don't stop him, but we contain him. We put pressure on French. We give him a little reminder of what happened last year when he got knocked out of the game, but hopefully not the same result as the backup coming in and looking like Steve Young. I think we put some pressure on him. We get the crowd in the game early, and we get on him.
That's a good point. 26 sacks on the season for J.C. French. He has been taking some abuse this year. The backup quarterback, well, not the backup quarterback, but the number 2 leading passer is the running back, so he's a game-time decision. I don't know. Russ, as soon as you get back on screen.
Yeah, I just got somebody that was walking up, and I wanted to get on here because it's a good friend of the ThunderCast, Brad Arvin.
KD, my man,
Brad
what's
Arvin.
happening?
That's like Heard by a Million. Brad Arvin's on the lot.
That's right.
Brad, we just had Chris Parker in here, not the running back Chris Parker, but the former Mr. Marshall Chris Parker. he gave a score prediction. I'm getting ready to give mine, but on the spot, could you give us a score prediction?
I think on my sports page, I'm going to shamelessly plug this. I do a sports page on Facebook. Brad's Unfiltered, whatever it is, sports page. And I think I said it was like 30, 35, 24.
It's just what Chris said. You guys are right in line. It's the exact same score Chris just said. I love that score. Man, Russ liked it a little bit bigger if I can recall.
I do, and I'm going to stick with it, even with O.J. Arnold being more as a game time decision, probable, whatever he is, where before we thought it was doubtful. I still like us to score a lot, and I still think that they will score on us, but I'm saying 44-28, same that I predicted earlier. I'm going to stay with that.
I love it. I was in the ballpark of 41-24 Herd. I think they do have the ability to run away with this one, especially if Georgia Southern is without O.J. Arnold, which looks like it might be. And even if he is a go, he's not 100%. He will be there to be more of a distraction for the pass connection of French to Brown, French to Sanders. But still, you got to respect a guy that's a damn near 1,000-yard rusher on the year that had a hell of a game a few weeks ago with catching a pass, catching a touchdown, throwing a touchdown, scoring about 4 of them. I mean, he's a weapon.
He is, but as I pointed out on the preview show, when you look, he had 264 yards, 267, one of the two of those in that game that he just went off. That is like well over a quarter of his. That's like nearly a third of his yards that he had this year. He only had one other game, maybe 2 other games where he was right at 100 or over. So it's not like he's been throwing up 100, 150 every game.
Right.
He just had a very good game. He is a very versatile back. I don't want to take anything away from him, but it would be one of those 264 is the anomaly versus that's something that you might expect if he plays today. So
sure.
Also with that injury, it was a hip injury is what it was stated to be. I do not see him getting a full load, and I still think with their other running backs that are out, they're going to have a lot of problems running the ball today. We are a much better run defense team than we are a pass defense.
Yeah, and let's point this out before we get out of here. If O.J. Arnold's not a go, or even if he is a go and they need some production, you got to drop all the way down with the other running backs that are out to a third-string quarterback, Weston Bryan, to be the next productive runner on this team. Yeah. And he's a 6'3" freshman, but he's only got 72 yards on the year. And then you look at a depth running back named Teo Todd, who's only got 42 yards rushing on the year. This rushing attack for Georgia Southern that is a very proud part of their game is reeling right now. Russ, give me some final. Let's talk about what you want to talk about, and then let's look to wrap this one up.
Yeah, Weston Bryan, look for him as a guy that's going to come in several times today as quarterback, might even be a second quarterback, have 2 on the field at the same time. They might use him in the red zone a lot, but he is a very big body. He's touched the ball 28 times this year, 22 rushes, 6 passes. He has 4 touchdowns. 1 in every 7 times he touches the ball, he scored a touchdown. Look for them to do something with him involved in either the red zone or some trick plays or bringing him in as a change of pace.
I like it. I mean, I don't like it, but I like that insight. Brad, we'll get you back in here since you're standing beside Russ on the lots. How about some final thoughts on this one about maybe the season as a whole, the roller coaster ride, what you feel about the Herd in this game, and what do you got?
Brother, all I got to say is it's a one-game season, like you said, and this game and this season is all about bowl eligibility and what we can do moving forward from there. So let's go out, get a win, get bowl eligible, hope that we get selected for a bowl because it's coming down to there's 82 spots and you're getting real close to that 82 people or teams that will be eligible. So getting a bowl eligibility through a victory today is the number one goal. Everything else is secondary. We just got to do it. Go all out.
Yep, I'm with you. Go all out. Brad, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I think back early in the season, I said that I would be completely fine with 6 wins, considering everything that we lost.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the opportunity today to get win number 6. I know I just heard Coach Gibson this morning on TV say that we were 6 points shy of 3 other victories.
Yep.
So, I mean, all things considered, we're right where we need to be. And I think if everybody would just settle down, be patient, and just go in here today and cheer like crazy for the Herd, we'll bring this thing home. We'll get a bowl invite, and everybody will have a Merry Christmas.
Hopefully. You're looking at right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sunbelt teams are already bowl eligible. You're looking at another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are looking to gain bowl eligibility today.
And two of them are guaranteed because we're this game and the app game, all 4 teams, you have to have a winner. So you're going to have somebody, 2 of those teams be 6-6, 2 of them be 5-7.
That's what I'm saying. Not everybody. We're not looking at 10 potential bowl eligible teams right now, but I think the SBC only has 6, maybe 7 tie-ins and a couple of secondary tie-ins. So you definitely don't want to be one of the last ones to get a spot. There may not be one for you, but hey, you got to show me you can win a game today. And that's exactly what I want to see. With bowl eligibility on the line, with senior day here, with a home winning record on the line, there's just too much that you have to go out and prove in game 12. We're still proving things, but the scenario doesn't change. I don't care if it's a 1-point win or a 100-point win. The ultimate goal is to win the damn game. Russ, take us out of here.
Yeah, if you see us at the Joan, which we're at, if you see us in the C lot, which we're at, or if you see us inside the stadium cheering our asses off to get bowl eligible, no matter where you see us, we're going to be saying, go Herd.
Go Herd.
Go Herd. It's the ThunderCast. I'm going to take 1 second to say happy birthday to Ernie M1731, who's watching us on YouTube. We appreciate you tuning in. Hope you have a great day. Go Herd.
Go Herd.